Everybody, it's T-Hand141 here. I am cutting up some onions. Wendy and I bought some of these green onions, and they're about this big, and I'm trying an experiment. I cut off the tip. The tip had some, what do you call them there? The little roots. That's it, the roots sticking off the end, and I cut off just about a quarter inch. No, about 1/8 of an inch of the actual onion in the bottom with the roots, and we planted them. I'll show you a picture of that here in a few minutes. But now what we're going to do with these onions is we are going to cut them and dehydrate them just to put them up. And I got a couple things I was told that I need to clear up. I had a friend of mine say, "Hey, yeah, you're a big homesteader." He picks on me a lot. He says, but then you go shopping at Walmart. Yep. Papa got to eat. I'm a fat man. I got to eat. And so basically, we started this journey. I've always hunted since I was 7 years old and met my stepfather. I've had a love for hunting. I haven't hunted in the last few years the way I should. Getting back into it though, quite a bit. But we are not self-sustaining yet. I have electric lights, I have power, I have water. In fact, Life showed up the other day and I got an element going out on my hot water heater. Oh no, we're gonna die. No, we're not gonna die. We're gonna fix it. But I have 2/3 of an acre, 0.66 of an acre, says the deed to my house in our little town, and it has done us well. We've had a garden for many years, and we've had good years and bad years. I am not the green thumb kind of guy, but we're able to put up a lot of stuff, and we go to farmers markets and buy some stuff to supplement. And when you find a good deal, found a really good deal on some sea salt. 50-pound bag was $22. Shout out to the little store that we got it from. It's one of the little Mennonite stores around. But we shop. Now, this month we bought, as far as meat goes, hamburger, and hot dogs, and we found some really beautiful looking chicken breasts, which we don't need chicken because we still have meat chickens from the year before last that we raised in the freezer. But at $1, what was it, Wendy? $1, huh? $1.49 a pound. We went ahead and got I think it's 6 good-sized chicken breasts from Aldi's. Aldi's is a great resource. You got to be careful because some things are less expensive, some things are more expensive. And I remember when we used to go in for $50 that Aldi's fill up a cart, and now you fill up a cart at Aldi's and you're looking at $150 to $200. And it wasn't so long ago that the prices went up. But that's just the economy. That's just life. And life is always going to get in the way. But by the grace of God, we went to Price Chopper. Wendy had some deals on some stuff we need. Guys, you can't, well, you probably can make your own toilet paper. However, I'm kind of used to buying toilet paper, and I don't know if I'm going to get into that side of things. Homesteading is a very, from what I understand, I'm not the only one, this is not an original thought, I don't think I've ever had one in my life, but homesteading is a very subjective idea. Some people say, oh, you got to be off the grid, you can't have electricity. Well, yeah, but there are plenty of people who homestead with electricity. Some people say, oh, you can't have electricity and you can't have LP gas or gas delivered. Well, you know, basically go off the grid or homestead it. Do what you can where you're at. If our 3/4 acre, or 2/3 of an acre, I could not justify having goats. I just couldn't. I don't have the room for them. And I could make it work. I could make it do. But the bees and the chickens are about all I'm going to have here, and along with the garden. And that's why we bought the 20 acres. It's only about 45 minutes away, 30 minutes, somewhere in there. You know, right now we have power and electric. I don't know. There might come a time when we're up on the homestead and say, you know, we did the whole no electricity. I'll never forget my granddaughter. We were up at the land and she says, Papa, I'm not going to come stay here a lot. And it broke my heart, and I said, you need to come sit down and explain that to Papa. She says, you're not going to have any running water. You're not going to have electricity. And I said, honey, we're going to have electricity. I said, it's just our electricity is free from the sun. And we're going to have running water. It's just our pump is, you know, we're going to be smart about either have a DC pump or gravity fed or whatever. And, you know, she thought we were going total, I don't know if you'd call it hillbilly or what. But I had to explain that to her. Starry Hilder, I think, they live very well. They have a small solar system, nice battery bank and all that. But they live very well. And that's what we're looking for. You know, just improvise. Instead of paying someone else to provide electricity, I want to be able to provide my own for what I need it. Because there's going to be a time, and mark my words, there is going to be a time when that electricity provider is no longer able to provide you with electricity. And water, I want to be able, if the town water here in Port Liden goes out, I want to be able to have a way to purify my own water. I got a nice little creek that runs out back, but it's still got to be purified. You know, soap. You know, that's just a money saver. Number one, it's a money. I want to make a living making a living. I don't want to work to make somebody else a whole lot of money. I want to do things myself. My meat, I want to know where it comes from. There is so much. I saw a post the other day, and it was talking about how they no longer have to stamp the country of origin on your meat that you get from the store. Number one, they pack it right full of nitrogen, something to that effect to make it nice and pink. My mom bought a loaf of bread a few weeks ago at a big chain store. And she set it up on the fridge and it got pushed back and she forgot it was there. She pulled it out, found it like a month later, and there was no mold, no mildew, little bit of a musty odor to it, you know, yeasty smell. But there's something wrong with that. When Jesus said, "Give us our daily bread," and what he was talking about was back then they didn't have the ways to preserve bread that we do now. They didn't take all the good stuff out of the flour, put a few back in, and call it enriched. They ground the flour out of wheat berries. They made the bread, and you would go to the market every morning and buy your bread, or you would make a loaf of bread, and if it wasn't eaten that evening, by the evening, it would be bad the next day. And so what's going into the food we eat? That water, by the way, I'm referring you back to, I'll try to put a link in the description. I've never done that before, but I'll try. The water did freeze. It took it a little bit longer than the other bottle, but the water did freeze. You'll see my video, What's in the Water. It did freeze, full disclosure. So we really need to evaluate what we personally consider off the grid. Homesteading used to be plant your flag. You would get put in the lottery, or you would get a letter in the mail saying, yes, you're approved under the Homestead Act, whatever. You would go out, you would claim your 40 acres, whatever it was. You'd build a house and do. It's different today. The Homestead Act is no more, which is a sad thing. But honestly, we do have to keep our natural places natural. But ooh, the onion's getting to me. But nowadays, it's very subjective. Do what you can where you're at. If you're not going to live a self-sufficient lifestyle in an apartment that you're in now, you're not going to do it on 40 acres of land. If you're not going to store up food for hard times, say, where you're at, you might not be able to do a whole lot right now, but a couple 5-gallon pails in the corner or something, you know, or something like that you might be able to do it. Learn how to can. Starry Hilder, I love the way she put it. She said that homesteading is a mindset to be self-sufficient. One day, people are going to stop doing things for you because they won't be able to. The power companies are everything's so screwed up right now. We have wind turbines that right up here near the house and in our county, and they send food, or they send electricity to New York City. Our dams, we have the best dammed rivers for power generation. Boy, that was skirting the edge. We have the best rivers in the Northeast around here to generate power. I don't know why we don't do more of it, but where does that power go? I'm on National Grid here in 2/3 of an acre homestead, and I don't see a benefit from them. A town close by to us does, and that's all well and good, but it just screwed up the system, you know. I mean, we're making power, and then we're selling it to Canada. something's wrong. We need to start buying local. We need to start living local. Because when everything busts down, that's where things are going to, that's the way things are going to go. You're going to produce your own. You're going to barter and trade locally for things other people have the skills and the knowledge to do. And the more skills and knowledge you have, the better. Do I ever expect to walk around in, out of necessity, walk around in buckskin clothes? No. Do I know how to tan a buckskin? I know the process. And I'm pretty sure I could do it. If I needed to do trial and error. Am I going to have turkeys on my 20-acre homestead up on the land when we build our home? I don't know. I don't know. They're dirty animals. But do I know how to raise turkeys? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a mindset that you have to be in. And, you know, if the Lord should tarry, if God were to hold back on sending Jesus back, which the way things are looking, it's not going to be long, and Jesus will be coming back. I want to be ready so that my grandkids don't know hunger, so that they will have what they need to survive, so that my mom and my brother and my friends, so that we can live without the state or the corporations providing for us, because quite frankly they're doing a lot of stuff wrong. Whether it be factory farming, horrible treatment of the animals, putting growth hormones and stuff in the food. They care about the bottom line. I care about the people that are going to be eating the soup that my wife makes with the onions that we bought from Walmart. Yep. But right in the room over here, I've got onions that hopefully will grow. I don't know. They might spray them with something that keeps them from growing. I don't know. I hope not. But I'm going to be taking, and this year, if we have a better turnout of onions, my onions did not turn out. And that's this year. I planted them in an area that was just not ready for it, and then I was working up on the land all summer, and we didn't do much with the onions, so our onions didn't turn out. But I will do the same thing with them, because I know if I grow an onion from a starter, an heirloom onion starter, then I can clip off the bottom of that onion and grow more onions, grow another onion. Celery is the same way. Clip off the bottom. We had some growing in our garden that did really good. They weren't the big thick stalks of celery that you buy in the store. They were thinner stalks, but they were celery. And that was from store-bought celery. Cut off the bottom of it, where about an inch or so where the roots are coming out. The moles got to it. I got to learn to control the moles, I guess. But anyway, guys, I would say cut this short, but it's been 18 minutes. Do what you can where you can. Look for ways to provide, for yourself and your family. That's where it's at. When everything else stops, family, that's what matters. And that's what it's all about. God bless you. This is T-Ham 141. I hope you stayed for the whole rant. And I'll let you see what these onions look like after they're out of the dehydrator. It shouldn't take too long for them. Alright, God bless. Talk to you later. I have celery and onions in the dehydrator. Yes, it's an electric dehydrator because I do have power, but eventually I will build a solar dehydrator once we get up on our land and try that. Here's my sprouts for my chickens. It's rye berries, rye wheat berries. I just soak them overnight or for about 8 hours in water, and see, you can already see they're starting to sprout really good. And they'll be grass here shortly. Now I'll just pick them up and take them into the chickens. And this is where I planted the onions. See, I cut off just the bottom of the onions. Probably shouldn't have pulled that one out, but I wanted you to know they were really small green onions. And this is a celery. This is the inner stalks. It already started getting leaves, so I figured I'd leave them on, and then the base of the celery is down in there just a little ways. So that's what I got going on, growing. At least the chickens will be happy because I know that works.